something hidden there underneath the land. My metal detector is with me all of the time.
Hello, how are you today? Very windy, isn't it? Very windy, like 40-mile-an-hour winds today. A lot of people are saying, oh, you're not putting many videos out, so I'm just going to put this one out. It's just going to be me talking. I thought I'd show you what I get up to when I'm not metal detecting, you know, when I'm not cooking. So I thought I'll just go grab a few beers and go sit in a cave on the beach and just have a little chat with you in the cave. So, you know, you might want to come along, you might not, it's entirely up to you. But I'm off to a cave anyway, so come along and we'll find something to talk about while we're in there. I'll show you my other interests. I'm interested in thinking. That's my other hobby. I love to think. So I'll explain a little bit more when I'm in my cave. So let's go get some beer and get down to the beach. Welcome to my cave. Yes, I've got my own cave, just like Batman and Robin have got one. I've got my own cave as well. Right, so yeah, thinking. I like to think. One of my little hobbies is just going on Google search and putting in something like interesting questions. That's one of my favourites. And just finding some strange questions and trying to answer them in my own little way. Because I'm quite a deep thinker sometimes. I think about things which normal people don't think of, which underprivileged people don't think about. So I'm going to give you a few examples. I'm just going to go through my phone and find you a few questions, alright? And I'll explain them to you. Why don't McDonalds sell hot dogs? Now, I've heard this question before, and I don't know the answer to it, do you? They're really, really missing out. Just think how much money they could make if they sold hot dogs. Or would they make more money? I don't know. Would it just stop people buying burgers, which will be more expensive than hot dogs? And that's what Mr. McDonald Ronald himself is thinking. Maybe he's thinking if they start selling hot dogs, burger sales will go down. That's the answer. I've got it. I'm telling you, I'm a genius. I always have the answer to every question. I just have to think about it for a few seconds sometimes. If man evolved from monkeys, why do we still have monkeys? Again, that's a good question. But I know the answer to this one as well. Basically, man didn't evolve from monkeys. Idiots evolved from monkeys, okay, which is what we are. Monkeys are the clever ones. The intelligent monkeys stayed as monkeys because they have a much better life. You know, what shall we have for tea tonight, love? Bananas. You know, you don't have to think about what you're going to eat. There's no cooking involved. You know, you just go down the supermarket, buy a few kilos of bananas, and you're set up for the week. They don't have to go to school, to work. They don't worry about money. You know, they just scratch the bum and eat bananas. And it's humans who shouldn't have evolved from monkeys. We should have just stayed as monkeys. Why doesn't the fattest man in the world become a goalie at hockey? Now, this is a brilliant question. I'm talking ice hockey, alright? Because if you think, it's not that big a goal, is it? If you got a really... It doesn't have to be the fattest man in the world, just a very, very, very large man will cover every single part of that goal. Nobody will score. So here's an investment opportunity for somebody if anyone's interested. I've got an idea where we can make a lot of money, okay? I don't know what you call the... Is it National Hockey League or something over there in America or Canada or wherever? But let's get a team together, yeah? I don't know how many players you have. We could just have like 5 anybody's, you know, just old age pensioners or homeless people, starving kids, you know, people who just want a chance to be famous. Let's get them inside. Oh, we'll need one good hockey player to score the odd goal, alright? And we'll just get a really big fat man and put him in the goal. He'll appreciate it because we're going to win every... We can't lose. Nobody can score. It's impossible. We cannot lose. So we get a big fat man, we put him in the goal, and we just play around, and we win. We win. It might go to penalties, but that's okay. You know, if we can't score, we'll just beat them on penalties. We're bound to get one eventually because the opposition can't get it in. So yeah, if anyone wants to invest in that idea, I'm up for it. Come on, let's get a team and make them the champions of the Hockey League every year, forever. We'll make a fortune. Why do they sterilise lethal injections? Now that's a good point, but do they actually sterilise them really? Surely they just buy a brand new sterilised one. I don't think they have a second-hand one. Do they? I don't know. No, I think they'll buy it already sterilised. You can't buy unsterilised needles, I'm sure. So that answers that one. That'll quite easy. Do Siamese twins pay for 1 ticket or 2 tickets when they go to the cinema? If there's any Siamese twins watching this, I'd really like to know if you've come across this and you could answer it for me. Personally, I don't think they should be charged, do you? To be honest, if I knew there were 2 Siamese twins in a theatre, I'd want to go into the theatre to look at the Siamese twins more than the film. So it's like it's good publicity, isn't it, for the cinema or theatre? So I think they should let them in free. They probably do let them in free. Are they classed as disabled? I don't know. You know, if you've got 2 heads, surely you're quite undisabled, really, aren't you? You're quite lucky to have 2 heads because you can think. Sometimes you might be doing something which you know you shouldn't be doing. It's, you know, it might be naughty, it might be illegal, and the other head might be telling you, no, don't do that. So the bad head says, no, you're right, you've talked me round. So the bad head doesn't do it. So that's not a disability, is it, if you've got 2 heads and one's a sensible one, because it can help the other one out. Anyway, let's move on. If milk goes bad when it's in the refrigerator, why doesn't it go bad when it's in the cow? I'll tell you why the milk doesn't go bad in the cow. Because when it says on the bottle, like, best before a certain date, and it's in like 3 days' time, they've probably already taken a day off whilst it's in the cow, because it takes 1 day, I believe, for a cow to produce the milk. So instead of it being like a 3-day shelf life, which it has, it's actually got a 4-day life. 1 day being whilst it's in the cow. You don't get milk in the cow for 4 days because the cow will be really you know what I mean? It won't be comfortable, it won't be happy, and it'll start seeping out, and I don't know, will it die if it doesn't get milked? I don't know how cows react to that. But yeah, that's why it doesn't go off in the cow, because it's only within 1 day old. How much deeper would the ocean be if there were no sponges growing in it? Now that's just a stupid question. Everybody knows sponges come from supermarkets and chemists and places like that. They don't come from the ocean. That's just stupid. No matter what colour bubble bath you use, Why are the bubbles always white? Now the bubbles, I don't think the bubbles in the bath come from the actual bubble bath. I think they come from trumps. You know, when you trump. And I'm guessing all trumps have white bubbles. You're not going to get a coloured trump, are you? Or does it come from the bubble bath? I don't know. I don't really know on that one. Now let's try something else. If a taxi driver was to drive backwards, would he owe his passenger some money? Now that's just a silly question, because if the taxi driver's going backwards, then it's taking them further away from the destination they want to get to. So eventually he's going to have to go to the destination they want to be at, which is a further distance, okay, which would cost the customer more money. Yeah, I've got that right. So no, and you can't drive backwards anyway. You can reverse, you're allowed to reverse, but you're not allowed to drive on a road backwards for like hundreds of yards or miles. Why is it that bees continually sting Deep Digger Dan, yet Winnie the Pooh never gets stung and is always stealing honey from bees' hives? Now, I think, well, I know the answer to this one. It's because he's got really thick fur and they're trying to sting him, but they can't get through his fur. If he shaved, he'd get stung, and I'm sure his nose gets stung sometimes because he's got very thin fur there. I don't know. I'm guessing the honey is that good that it's worth a stung nose now and again. That's probably why he keeps doing it. By the way, I've got a viewer in America, I believe, sending me some honey. He's got some bees and they're about to lay some honey or whatever they do, produce honey, lay honey, give birth to some honey. I don't know what they do, but he's going to put some in a jar, I think, and send me some, so that'll be interesting, because I've never tasted honey ever in my life, so we'll see. If somebody owns a piece of land, do they own it right to the centre of the earth? What I'd say is yes, they do own it to the centre of the earth, but as you get very close to the centre of the earth, there's going to be like millions of people squeezing into a very condensed little area, and there's going to be quite a few disputes over land claims and things, which is it's probably very well that not many people, if any, actually reach the centre of the earth, because there'd be a lot of court cases and things saying he went on my property and stuff, wouldn't there? You know, you watch programmes on mining and gold mining and stuff, they do go quite deep, but they're still a long way from the centre of the earth. I think there's only ever been one person who's actually reached the centre of the earth, and they made a film about it. I think he found dinosaurs and stuff in the middle of the earth or something. I can't remember. It was a good film, I watched it when I was a child. Why do British people always sound American when they're singing? I can answer this one as well. Basically, excuse me, basically most of the songs which we're singing are American songs, and that's the reason why. If we sung English songs, we'd sing them in English. I'll give you an example. An old English song is, and this is from near where I was born, but you might not have heard of it. On Ilkley by Tat, on Ilkley by Tat, on Ilkley by Tat, where the ducks play football. You see, I sung that in a very Yorkshire English northern voice. But if I sung an American song like Froggy went a-courting, he did ride a Froggy went a-courting, he did ride a Froggy went a-courting, he did ride with a sword and a pistol by his side a See where I'm going with this? Most songs are American. If people with one arm get the nails done, do they get half price? Now, it's up to, the answer is, it's entirely up to the owners of that particular nail and beauty store. You know, if they want to still charge full price, that's entirely up to them. They're perfectly within the law. Personally, I wouldn't. I think it's wrong to charge full price when you've only got 5 nails. Unless you've got really big hands and your nails are twice as big as anybody else's, then you should pay full price. Why are women's and men's shoe sizes different? Now this is a great question, and I don't know the answer. I'll put my hands up for the first time. I don't know the answer to a question. But I would really like someone, if they do know the answer, to tell me what the answer is. Because I'm sick of going into for some women's shoes and they're asking me what size I am. I'm saying, you know, I'm a 10, 11, and they're looking at me like I'm stupid. They bring out a 10 or 11 and it's a tiny little thing, it don't fit me. So they end up giving me a massive size 18 or something, where basically the big heel is too big for me, because as it gets much bigger, they put a bigger heel on it and I can't walk in them. If you lick the air, does the air get wet? Right, well, if I lick the air now, no, because it's full of salt and I can taste the salt on my lips from the sea because the tide's coming in very rapidly, and I can taste the salt. Plus, you know, there's a lot of air, isn't there? Like, got one tongue, it's only that big, right? Look at the size of air. It's like bigger than the earth, but with the earth in the middle of it, if you can understand what I'm saying. So there's a lot of air, and air dries, doesn't it? So, you know, you put your clothes out and they're dry. So no, I would say air doesn't get wet if you lick it. You can't even tell anyway because you can't see air. Even if it was getting wet, I wouldn't know. So yeah, what does Deep Digger Dan do when he's not metal detecting? This is quite an average day for me. You know, I like to come to my cave and just chill out in my cave for a bit and think about things. I love to think. I really don't like people on computer games and things, and one thing I detest is people just staring at the phone and going like this all the time. And I'll tell you something, I am the worst person for it. That is all I do all day. But I'm working while I'm doing it. You know, I'm thinking, well, I'm dealing with my website, with YouTube, looking for ideas for the next video. I'm working when I'm doing it, but I hate doing it. It's so antisocial. It's so much nicer just to come down here. I haven't filmed me doing this before, you see. I don't normally have my camera and everything out. I just sit and I relax and I think. And I think we should all do it. Get yourself a cave. You know, if you're not on a beach, just dig a really deep hole and just go down it now and again. Have a really good think. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I haven't bored you to death, but hey, people keep saying I'm not making enough videos. I don't want to metal detect when it's 50-mile-an-hour winds, I'm sorry. So I'm just chilling out. Thanks for joining me. Join me again, and I'll see you as soon as I possibly can. Bye-bye.
all of the time.